Hi guys, back again. I'm aware I've done a content overload on Football Heaven 24/7 this week. I've done 3 episodes today. I'm bashing out one last one for today, but this is it's early on. It's before the season's that way before the season's starting, the 22-23 season starting. But I'm going to do my Premier League predictions. Obviously, now that we've known for a week or so what teams who's going to be playing in the Premiership. The promoted teams, as a lot of us are aware, were Fulham, who finished as champions, Bournemouth, who finished second, and Forest, who won in the playoffs, beating Huddersfield Town. Now, a lot of us know Forest have not been in the Premier League for 23 years. Obviously, I'm over the top excited about it because I was only 18 when the last were in the Premier League. And as I've said previously, I believe in one of my episodes, I was sat at the last home game that they had in the Premier League back in 1999, beating Sheffield Wednesday 2-0. So it's long anticipated, but I've done what I believe will be the final standings for for this season coming ahead. Um, we know a bit about some teams. Not many teams have made transfers yet, so it's kind of hard to gauge exactly how things are going to work out. We know that from the last couple of seasons, Manchester City and Liverpool have been the dominant forces. Manchester City have won 3 of the last 4 league titles, and Liverpool won back in 2019-20 season, when, of course, COVID unfortunately was at its worst, and unfortunately they couldn't win that in front of fans. So anyway, let's get to the point. The point is the 2022-23 season for the Premier League, and these are my predictions. Now, I'm going to come in for some flack for these. I don't even care. Everyone's got their own opinions. Um, so far in the transfer market, we've only seen a few things happen. Tottenham have had Ivan Perisic come in from Inter Milan, which is obviously Tottenham's current manager, Antonio Conte's former club. Obviously, he's Italian. So Ivan Perisic is coming, which is an interesting addition to Spurs' team. I believe they'll retain most of their squad from this season that's helped them to finish in the Champions League places. Manchester City have added Erling Haaland from Borussia Dortmund, probably the youngest, one of the best strikers in his early 20s in Europe, along with Mbappe at Paris Saint-Germain at the moment. So that's a great addition to last year's champions, last season, this season's gone champions, Manchester City. It remains to see who City will add to that. There's a rumour that Jesus, which is one of their top strikers, is making a move to Arsenal. I believe he'll make that move. There's been a lot of speculation saying that he is longing to get more first team football, be a regular striker for a team, which he didn't get at Manchester City this season, just gone. Um, he will get that at Arsenal. He'll be played every week, pretty much in every game. He's desperate to join up with Arteta, who used to be assistant manager at Manchester City a couple of seasons ago. So interested to see what will happen there. Manchester United, there's rumours of Frankie de Jong as Eric Ten Hag's come in, the former Ajax manager who won the Dutch league with Ajax this season. He's now the Manchester United manager, as a lot of us know. It'd be interesting to see what players he brings in, but if he can bring in Frankie de Jong as a replacement for Paul Pogba, who's going to be leaving on a free transfer, his destination's not known yet. It's probably either Real Madrid, PSG, or back to Juventus again. With that situation, Liverpool look like they're going to lose Sadio Mane to Bayern Munich. He's not very happy for whatever reasons. Mohamed Salah still hasn't signed a contract extension at Liverpool yet, so potentially he may move on. There's a bit of unrest at Liverpool, even though they've been winning cups. They won the League Cup and the FA Cup, obviously, this season. There's a little bit of unrest there, which suggests to me that if they were to lose Mane and Salah, that it could be a very difficult season for them losing those two guys, even though they've got Diogo Jota and Luis Diaz. Now, it sounds crazy for me to say that because obviously Liverpool have got to 3 finals this year and finished just narrowly being defeated in the race for the title in the 21-22 season. But reality is that teams, we saw it with Man United in the past, teams do have seasons where they dip a little bit, and this is my feeling right now with Liverpool. I feel that the 22-23 season is going to be a bit of a transitional period for Liverpool. Others may disagree with me. Certain members of that squad are getting old. James Milner's signed an extension to stay at Liverpool for the 22-3 season, 22-23 season. But I believe that a lot of these players are getting older. Obviously, the captain Jordan Henderson, he is quality, but he's into his 30s now. There's a few players that are getting there. Salah's getting there, Mane's getting to 30. Van Dijk, obviously world class as well. But we'll see what happens. But I've got a feeling that Liverpool are going to dip a little bit for next season. Anyway, bearing those things in mind, Aston Villa have made a few additions to their squad. I mentioned it in my previous episodes today. They brought in Boubacar Kamara from Marseille, a midfield player, and they brought in Diego Carlos, who was a good defender for Sevilla in the Spanish league. So that will strengthen their team. It'd be interesting to see how Villa get on next season. I believe that they'll have quite a good season. They've brought in Neil Critchley, who was the Blackpool manager in the Championship the season just gone, and he'd done wonders at Blackpool, getting him in from League One into the Championship, but getting them at mid-table finish, just below mid-table finish. But they comfortably stayed up in the Championship. So it's one to watch, Neil Critchley deciding to go for a number 2 role, having had a number 1 role at a higher level. He was the former Liverpool Academy manager at one point, and he'd done great things with the Liverpool Academy. But anyway, we're looking into it all. He's going to be joining Gerrard at Aston Villa. Not seeing anything else much of note. There was rumours, as I mentioned in my last episode, of Forest getting a 75 to 100 million pound budget to spend, as the chairman, Marinakis, he does not want Forest to have any chance of going down. He wants to cement Forest as a regular Premier League team, which, to be honest, as a Forest fan, and most Forest fans will say, they'll want that. They don't want to be a one-season wonder like Norwich City have been over the last few seasons when they've got promoted, and other teams, obviously, as well, like Fulham as well, more recently, that have come up a couple of times and then gone straight back down. He's wanting them to cement their place, and I think 75 to 100 million is pretty much the going rate that you would expect to spend to have a good chance of staying up, and maybe finishing around mid-table. So anyway, it's going through all those. Obviously, we know that Crystal Palace had a bit more of an improvement. They finished with a plus goal difference for the first time in their Premiership history. So Patrick Vieira did wonders there. They finished mid-table. Leicester City had a bit of a dip because of their commitments in the Europa League and a couple of key injuries, solely to Jamie Vardy through the 21-22 season. That set them back a bit. And Harvey Barnes as well had some injuries. And then when you're looking at other teams, Arsenal struggled a little bit. They needed an out-and-out striker, which they didn't have last season, which unfortunately ended up with them just missing out to their deadly rivals Spurs for that 4th place in the 21-22 season. So I feel that there's been vast improvements at Arsenal over considering they finished 8th in the previous 2 seasons to the 21-22 campaign, and I feel that Arsenal will improve on that. If they can get a few more defenders in, if they can get Gabriel Jesus in, which seems like it's definitely going to happen, that's going to improve them immensely, because I thought all they really needed was a couple of good defenders and a world-class striker to get them challenging for the title, or at least challenging for the top 4 easily, or top 3. And other teams sort of slipped. They had injuries, teams like Wolves, they still finished well, but Jimenez was injured for quite a little bit of the season. There was a few other injuries that other teams had to contend with. The out-and-out standout team who had the best Premier League finish, they finished in 9th, was Brighton. They had a great season. But I feel that some other teams that have done well over the last couple of seasons, like West Ham and a few others, are going to dip a bit coming into the 22-23 season. Squads are going to get stretched. But anyway, I'm going to do my predictions now. I've had a little bit of a little run through. Everton, as we know, were lucky to escape relegation the season just gone. I feel that they will struggle again. I don't really rate, no disrespect to Frank Lampard, but I don't really rate him as a Premiership manager. At Chelsea, he had good players already, or great players already, when he made them finish 4th. So But I don't think, even though Everton stayed up, um, I just think that they're not going to have a great season next season. Anyway, but we'll go into it. These are my predictions as I think it'll turn out, and I'll give a little bit of an explanation to why I think that will happen. Now, Manchester City, they're a quality team. Obviously, their team has been aging, but they've proved that whatever injuries they have over the last sort of 4 or 5 years, they've proved it doesn't really affect their team, as they proved this season when they came back against the odds with different things going on in a few games. Um, we saw the mentality and the spirit of that team, and they just keep going and going and going. Liverpool are similar, but Liverpool, I find that they've not got quite as good mental toughness as Manchester City. Manchester City are just shading them at the moment, and I feel with rumours of unrest with Sadio Mane especially, and Salah, and one or two other players that might be going out the door. I feel that this is a time for all the teams that have sort of been in and around trying to challenge over the last few seasons to sort of maybe overtake Liverpool a little bit, at least for one season, maybe it might go on for 2 seasons. We'll see. But as a result of everything, I think I'm going to go with the my predictions for relegation first, which is not normally how you would do it. But as I say, Bournemouth, Fulham, Nottingham Forest, all promoted for the 22-23 season. I reckon that only one team out of those three will get relegated, and that team I will predict will be Fulham. And I think Fulham will finish in 20th at the bottom, and I think that Brentford will finish in 19th. Brentford had a great season. Yes, their manager did wonders. I just don't think they have the money to be able to compete with the other teams long term, and therefore I think Eriksen will move on after having a season building up his fitness again with Brentford at a lower level with less expectation. But I feel that Brentford will succumb to the second season syndrome that we've seen with teams like Sheffield United, and we almost saw with Leeds United the season just gone when they nearly went down. Um, so yeah, I'm going for them. And over the last sort of, well, 4 seasons or something, Southampton have had some absolute hammerings and absolute batterings. They've not. They've seemed to just get by, just get enough points, but then like have a really bad run towards the end of the season in the last 3 or 4 seasons. And I think their luck's going to run out. I think that Southampton are going to go down. Um, it's a surprise to me that Ralph Hasenhüttl, with today's climate and the way that people make judgments on managers, it's a surprise to me that he's been in the job for as many seasons as he has been, because they've had some woeful runs and defeats, and I think their time's going to run out. Like I say, they're going to finish in 18th, in my opinion. And then we're going to look at the top of the leagues. I think to win the title, it's going to take a lot, but Manchester City have got the pedigree at the moment. They've got that mentality. The players are still young enough. I feel that a lot of those players are still good to win the league. I'm going to go for Manchester City to win the league. I'm not going to say it's going to be a landslide that they win it by. Then here comes the controversial bits when I pick my second, third, and fourth place finishes. As we know, the season just gone. Manchester City finished top, Liverpool finished second, Chelsea finished third, and in fourth was Spurs pipping Arsenal to that elusive last place for the Champions League. But I can see Spurs, Antonio Conte staying. I can see Spurs going on and doing some great things. They have got a great team, probably one of the best strikers in the world with Harry Kane. Heung-min Song finished joint top goal scorer with Mohamed Salah with 23 goals each. As I said, I think Salah will probably be moving on from Liverpool. I think he's had enough, and Mane's definitely had enough at Liverpool. I'm going to go for Tottenham to leapfrog a couple of places to what they finished this season. Instead of finishing fourth, I think they're going to finish second, just behind Manchester City. And I think that the progression that's going on at Arsenal will make Arsenal finish third. I do think that Manchester United will improve from this really poor season that they've had. I'm going to say that they're going to end up finishing in the last Champions League place, which means that Liverpool and Chelsea, in my opinion, will finish outside of the Champions League places. Now, it's controversial. No one's going to back me and believe that Liverpool are going to slip from second to fifth, but I'm going to say that they are doing, and I'll get laughed at, but I don't care. Liverpool, I think, will finish fifth. I think they're going to struggle. I think they're going to have a transitional period. You saw it when COVID was really bad, and there was no fans. You saw them dip in form. They had some injuries, mind you, but losing Virgil van Dijk. But I still think that Liverpool are going to have a bit of a dip. So Liverpool's finished fifth, and then I'm going to say Chelsea to finish sixth. They're going to have a bit of a poor season, I think. Aston Villa is going to improve. They're going to finish seventh, in my opinion. Newcastle United, with all the investment, they are the richest club in the world now. I believe their owners are worth 250 billion or something crazy like that, way ahead of all the other owners that are rich in football. Um, I'm going to go for Newcastle to finish eighth. And when I was looking at Manchester City in the past when they were building up bit by bit, I believe it took them 4 or 5 seasons before they won the title after having that large investment, same as Newcastle have had from a Saudi consortium or the Saudi Prince even. So I'm going to go for Newcastle to finish eighth. My brother's team, my youngest brother's team. Leicester City, in my opinion, are going to finish in ninth. I think Brendan Rodgers does a great job. They got some good players, but I feel like one or two of those players will probably move on in the transfer market leading into the season. I'm looking at people like Maddison and looking at a couple of players in the Leicester team that may move on, possibly Ndidi and maybe even Pereira that plays at the back. Three of the key players for Leicester. I mean, they'll still keep Jamie Vardy, but because he's getting older, he's getting a few more injuries now. He's picking up a few things that obviously hindered them a bit this season. Didn't finish as high as they would have hoped. But yeah, I'm going to say Leicester finished ninth. People are going to say I'm being biased, but I really think that if Forest do get that 75 to 100 million budget, which I believe they will get, Steve Cooper, I keep praising him, but when you think it took 23 years for them to get back into the league, when you look at it, you think and you see how well he did. I believe he can take that on into the Premiership, much like Sheffield United did under Chris Wilder. I believe Cooper's a better manager than Chris Wilder. And I feel that he will do. Wilder, I believe, got Sheffield United to eighth in the first season. Sheffield United got into the Premier League, and then they were relegated the previous season. But I think Forest will. I think Steve Cooper has a great way with players, a great management style, and I believe he will get in the players that are young enough and hungry enough, and he will mould them into a fantastic team. And I believe they'll finish in 10th. Wolverhampton Wanderers, they're going to have a comfortable season, but they're not going to do anything majorly special, I don't think, in my opinion. I think they'll finish 11th. West Ham have had a couple of great seasons, finishing 5th and 6th, respectively. Was it 5th and 6th? No, sorry, 5th and 7th, even. I think that the luck's going to run out, and I think that they're going to have a bit of a dip in form the next season. I think they're going to end up finishing in 12th. I just cannot see their owners buying in the players that are needed. There's always a lot of talk and a lot of hype, and a lot of West Ham fans around me will probably agree with this, but they always talk a good game about who they're going to buy and what money they're going to spend, but they always end up getting left empty-handed. Declan Rice will stay on for this season, I should imagine. There's rumours in the newspapers that Souček might be going to Tottenham or maybe even abroad. He's a crucial midfield playmaker for West Ham. He's been one of the main reasons, along with Declan Rice and Jared Bowen, that West Ham have ended up getting into Europe the last couple of seasons. So I just think that's going to happen. I don't know. I can't see Jared Bowen going this season, but maybe he'll go next season. I just feel that there'll be little bit of unrest because of West Ham have had a bit more successful seasons than they used to over the last couple of seasons, and I feel that the players naturally will be thinking, can I get more money? Can I play at a team that's more likely to actually win trophies and stuff like that? That's no disrespect to West Ham. West Ham have done way beyond what most fans that support them would have expected in the last couple of seasons. They've done brilliant, but I just feel like that dip's going to happen, and I feel that they're going to finish 12th. I'm going to say Leeds are going to have a bit more of a comfortable season. They did suffer with bad injuries to their key striker, Bamford, in the 21-22 season. That hindered them quite a bit. Calvin Phillips was also injured for a long period of time in the last season just gone. So I think Leeds will finish 13th, reasonably comfortable. I think Brighton will have a dip. I think I don't think Brighton are going to improve on what they did this season just gone, finishing ninth. I think Brighton will finish 14th. Everton are going to struggle again, but I think it's going to be a bit more comfortable than this season. I'm going to say Everton to finish 15th. Crystal Palace will slip a bit further down to what they did before. I'm going to say 16th for them. And I feel Bournemouth will just stay up, and I think it'll be like a last day of the season, almost similar to Leeds United and Burnley this season just gone. I feel that Bournemouth will probably finish maybe just like a point or maybe 2 points above relegation zone and survive only by the skin of their teeth. So that's what I think. Like I say, Southampton, Brentford, and Fulham to go down. I could be wrong. There's some mad decisions in there. Me saying about Liverpool and Chelsea finishing the Europa League places. I'm sure lots of people will argue with me on that, but um, it's just what I'm going to go with. I feel that Tottenham and Arsenal are progressive teams. I feel like they're building on stuff. I feel like their managers are really, really good and progressive managers. Conte has already proven his worth in for a couple of teams in the past already with Chelsea and with Inter Milan. And Arteta, I think, is going to be a great future manager. I feel if he gets the investment, like I say, if he gets a couple of good defenders in, and they get the Gabriel Jesus, I feel they've got some great players coming through. Emil Smith Rowe, Saka, Martinelli, all those guys are going to be really, really great Arsenal players over the next few seasons. And I can really see them improving. Like I say, I think they'll definitely finish in third place or somewhere around that area. Anyway, this is going to be my final episode for the whole week now. I am not going to do any more. I've done 4 episodes today. I've rattled them off. Um, I know it's a lot for people to take in. Just take them at your own pace. Um, and I appreciate people's love and support and kind words that they've said. Um, I'm going to keep going. Okay, we haven't got a lot of viewers at the moment, but it's going to get bigger and better. I've just got to advertise it more. And yeah, it's just I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing. So there we go. Have a great week. I've said it before in the last few episodes as well. This will be my last one now. I'll probably do something around Saturday this week in about 3 days' time, 3 or 4 days' time. Okay, all the best. Bye now. Bye for now. This has been Football Heaven 24/7. I'm your host, Jamie Carter. This is episode 25. Bye.